Marina Bay hosted a Grand Prix that briefly ran in the 60s and 70s, but the Garden City re-entered the calendar for good in 2008. We missed it for a couple of years, but it was great to come back to the Singapore Grand Prix. And here's our track, 4.94 kilometers long, and overtaking chances into the first corner, into turn 14 at the end of the Esplanade, and now into turn 16 in the newly reprofiled sector that we first ran on in 2023. Still though, it's punishing and tough on the brakes, and the heat and humidity will take an effect on our drivers. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, and Oscar Piastri completes the front row. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and Hülkenberg, Russell, Albon, Gasly, and Daniel, Tsunoda, Antonelli, Ollie Behrman, and Lawson, Stroll, Ocon, Fernando Alonso, and Gabriel Bortoleto. Hadja and Jack Doohan rounds off the grid. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. And alongside me for this afternoon's commentary, Naomi Schiff. Good afternoon, Gnomes. So we're getting close to the start.
Well,
okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
guys, P10, we are starting P10 after qualifying that was challenging, that was exciting, and if you pay attention to the lap times of the starting grid graphics, you saw that the top 10 were much slower than the rest of the cars because in Q3 we have rain. And I was the last driver in Q3 starting P10 because I made a mistake. I decided to go out just the beginning of Q3 when the first drops were falling down into the tarmac. I decided to go on soft or on dry tires, thinking that maybe it's a bit damp and maybe it will be enough to do a good lap on dry tires. The rest of the drivers went for inter tires, and I was wrong. The track was really slippery for slick, so I had to go to the box again, put inter tires, and the problem was that at that time the drivers, all the rest of the drivers that set a lap time in the first minutes of Q3 when the track was drier and was not so wet, they were much faster. And once I put the inter, the track was too much wet, the rain intensity increased, and it was absolutely impossible to beat someone in Q3. So a strategy mistake, but at least it happened in Q3, so that means we are in, in P10, that is points position, and all to play for. I mean, I think we have a good car here, not so good as, for example, Azerbaijan, but I think we are in a position to fight for points, obviously, and to try to look ahead. First of all, let's see the strategy today. Let's see what we can do today, because we have different options. Obviously, in this race, forget these strategies, because at some point, at the end, in the second half, we have to use wet tires or inter tires, because it's gonna be raining. As you can see in the graphics, we have rain at the second half of the race. As you see, the rain will be at the end and the final phase of the race. Will start as light rain, then will increase to heavy rain, and then will decrease again. So the question is how much pit stops we can save before rain comes. I mean, less times you pit before rain comes, probably more advantage you will have. That means that drivers that will be able to save one stop in the dry time, in the dry section of the race, they will save 22 seconds of the pit stops, because the idea here is to stop only one time before rain comes. That should be the ideal. In that way, once the rain comes, everyone will have to stop again. So it's no sense to stop twice on dry conditions. I mean, maybe some people do, or some people does, but the idea should be to try to save that pit stop. But by the other hand, if the rain comes really late, it's gonna be really difficult to stop only one time. Hi, how are you, man? So, yeah, I mean, we have an advantage here. We have two sets of medium tires that I saved at the beginning of the weekend, because we saw that the medium here is the best tire. The hard is really hard, very slow, and the soft is too much soft, and it lasts not too much laps, as you can see here. So the medium tire is by far the best. Good thing is we have two sets, and remember, it will be raining at the end, so that means that we can use, for example, we have the option to use two sets of medium tires, the two sets we have, and we are not, we must not to use a different compound tire, because it will be raining at the end of the race. So that means we can use only the two sets of mediums and don't use any other of the tires we have available, hard or soft. It's not necessary, you know, with this rain. So that means a strategy should be medium until rain comes, and to put the inter tire. But as I said, I would like to save one pit stop if it's possible. And the ideal strategy will be to do, you know, to dump pits and wait till rain comes. But I think it's not possible. I think rain will come really late. So the idea should be to do one pit stop during the dry conditions, medium, and in the second set of medium, just waiting until rain comes. And in that way, in that moment, to put the inter tires. So that's the strategy. So this one is the right one, but excluding the hard tires. I mean, hard tires will not be fit in this race. It will be the inter tire, you know. And then another important question: the rain, it's light at the beginning, but it will be heavy in this final phase of the race. The question is, will someone will stop for full wet tires, or we all will survive on inter? In my experience, not just in this game, in other previous games, normally it's much better to resist or to stay on track on inter tires, even if at some point the rain is too much, you know. I think the ideal strategy here is to put the inter tire, and even in the worst scenario when heavy rain comes, to maintain the car on track, because then it will be light rain again. So we have to survive, and on inter tires, even in the most critical moments when rain will be heavy and the track will be really wet. So that's the plan. It should be two stops, medium at the start, pit for medium again, put inter once the rain comes, and to finish the race on inter tires, you know. That's, I think, is the winner strategy, and probably the strategy everyone will try to do, you know. It's the most effective one. So that's the idea. Then we set the fuel. Well, about laps, this one is very good. I mean, 21 laps, something like that should be enough, you know. That is the lifespan of these tires. So I think in the second stint, once we will in the final laps of the second stint, probably is the moment when rain will come. And as I said about fuel, I have to say that, as always, I try to go really aggressive on it. I'm good for saving fuel, so let's try to go aggressive now. Even with this rain at the end, there is more chances to save fuel, so let's try to go aggressive. Let's put just 0.8, 0.9 should be enough. So also I'm thinking, guys, to increase a bit the downforce just when rain comes, but this is something I can change during the race. So let's see, I have to remember that once the rain comes, in every pit stop, to increase a bit the front wing. So yeah, I think we can do that. So yeah, I mean, other than that, it's okay. Guys, now strategy is ready. Rivals. At the right side is Pierre Gasly, that did an amazing qualifying, an amazing weekend. Gasly was absolutely super fast during this weekend. Let's see if he can score points. I had my teammate Alex, P8. And then onwards, I think, well, in P6 is Nico Hulkenberg on the Sauber. He did an extraordinary qualifying session. And then are, the McLarens, the Ferraris, Mercedes there, I think. So Red Bull of Max Verstappen. Drivers that should be much faster than us. So our race here should be between me, Alex Albon, Gasly there, Hulkenberg, that is P6, and behind it Tsunoda. Behind it Tsunoda in a Red Bull, so that's my first, probably my biggest concern, and the start is Tsunoda. Because obviously he has a Red Bull car that is super fast, and it's just behind me. Now let's see the tires all drivers has chosen. Okay, as we see, everyone is using medium or hard because their soft is not a good tire, and most of the people is on medium tires. Question here is, for example, Tsunoda is, well, all drivers around me are in the same strategy except Antonelli, that is on hard tires, and Hulkenberg, that is on hard as well. So, seeing that, probably Russell will gain the place to Nico very soon, and probably Albon, Gasly, even and me, we should be able to attack Nico the first laps. This tire is very bad, the hard tire, so maybe we have an option. People that is starting on hard, maybe their strategies don't stop until race comes and only do one stop in the race. That's a possibility, so let's see. And the rest of the drivers, we all are on medium tires, including Tsunoda. So basically, in the start, I will try to maintain the place with Tsunoda, try to defend as much as possible. Gasly obviously is a target, and the idea is try to stay behind Albon in the first laps, and then if we can attack him, try to pass Alex as well, I think we have pace. And then obviously Nico Hulkenberg. I think being on hard tires, it's vulnerable, especially in the first 10 laps. The only creator that drives on cockpit mode. Okay, yeah, I don't know, but thank you for your words. Yeah, maybe it's a bit weird, but people love it, and I don't have a problem. So yeah, it's nice. It's nice. Thank you for being here on live as well. As I said, our race is between Alex, Nico there in P6, Gasly, and then Tsunoda behind, super fast. After Tsunoda, I think it's Antonelli, a driver we have to look up as well. So we have a lot of rivals in this race. It's gonna be a very intense race because I think we will be surrounded by cars in most of the laps. We will have to survive on them. And then obviously once the rain comes at the end, the rain can change absolutely everything in this race. So it's extremely important to know the precise moment to enter in the pits for inter tires. The drivers that will react earlier to what happened on track with the rain, probably these drivers will be able to gain a lot of places in this race, or lose places if the strategy is run off or someone decides to enter too late in the pits. So super strategic race. Probably is gonna be decide most of the positions on track in the very late phase of the race with this rain that can change everything. Obviously, mistakes as well on wet conditions can be much more, possible, including me. Fortunately, we have rain in practice, in quali a bit as well. I did a good amount of laps on wet conditions, so more or less I have the feedback. How is driving here on Singapore on wet? It's a nightmare, absolutely nightmare. The car slides like crazy everywhere. But let's see if we are able and we do a good race and we react, in the best way possible to try to get the best result. So obviously points are possible. We can fight for more than this P10. I think P8, P9 is possible. If we do the perfect strategy, even we can go further. Also, doing things wrong here in a race like this one in Singapore, doing things wrong, we can lose a lot of places as well. So it's gonna be super extreme race in that regard. So I can't wait to start. That will be, as I said, in 11 minutes. So people that is on YouTube or Kick, please guys, move on to Twitch. DannyFloss1, my username. There is the only way to watch the full race, the race all live of this Singapore Grand Prix. It's gonna be long, so take your time, guys. go to grab something to eat if you are ready or you are hungry or whatever, or just sit there and enjoy it, because it's gonna be long. It's gonna be a long race if we are able to finish it. If not, obviously if we crash not, but I hope don't crash. It's gonna be a really long race. A real challenge, probably the most difficult challenge of the calendar, this race, because as I said, it's super long, a lot of laps, a street circuit. Even with this rain, even will be longer. But I can't wait to start. These kind of challenges, I really love it, and let's see what we can do. So now, guys, it's time to say goodbye to people on Kick and YouTube. And guys, please move on to Twitch right now. If you are here on Kick or YouTube, see you on Twitch from now, and we start the race in 10 minutes, guys. It's gonna be really